Hi, kids. Pastor Mike here again. It's story time. I don't know what happened. I tried to start the video earlier and it died. Hopefully, it'll make it this time. So, today we're reading again more Frog and Toad stories. Today, we're reading three of them. We're going to read The Cookie, we're going to read Dragons and Giants, and then The Dream. Cookies. Toad baked some cookies. Ooh, yummy. These cookies smell very good, said Toad. He ate one. Can you eat a cookie? And they taste even better, he said. Toad ran to Frog's house. Frog, Frog, cried Toad. Taste these cookies that I have made. Frog ate one of the cookies. These are the best cookies I have ever eaten, said Frog. Do you see him eating the cookies? Yummy, yummy. Frog and Toad ate many cookies, one after another. I've been there before. You know, Toad, said Frog with his mouth full. I think we should stop eating. We will soon be sick. You are right, said Toad. Let us eat one last cookie. Frog and Toad ate one last cookie. There were many cookies left in the bowl. Frog, said Toad, let us eat one very last cookie. And then Frog and Toad ate one very last cookie. Sounds almost like Christmas time. We must stop eating, cried Toad as he ate another. Yes, said Frog, reaching for a cookie. We need willpower. What is willpower? Willpower is trying hard not to do something that you really want to do, said Frog. You mean like trying not to eat all of these cookies? Asked Toad. Right, said Frog. It's Frog and Toad talking about willpower while they eat yummy cookies. Frog put the cookies in a box. There, he said, now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. Frog tied some string around the box. There, he said, now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can cut the string and open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. You see them, you see them putting the box together. So here we go. Let me see if I can figure out where I'm at. See over here? They're tying the box, right? They got the box, and now they're tying strings on it. Oh, look what he's doing now. He's going to put it up there on a ladder. Frog got a ladder. He put the box up on a high shelf. There, said Frog. Now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can climb the ladder and take the box down from the shelf and cut the string and open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. Frog climbed the ladder and took the box down from the shelf and cut the string and opened the box. Frog took the box outside. He shouted in a loud voice, Hey, birds, here are cookies. Birds came from everywhere. They flocked, and they picked up all the cookies in their beaks, and they flew away. No, we have no more cookies to eat, said Toad sadly. Not even one. Yes, said Frog, but we have lots and lots of willpower. You may keep it all, Frog, said Toad. I'm going home now to bake a cake. There they are, giving the cookies. Where are they? Giving the cookies to the birds. And there it goes. Where's my cookies? Willpower. Dragons and Giants. Frog and Toad were reading a book together. The people in this book are brave, said Toad. They fight dragons and giants, and they are never afraid. I wonder if we are brave, said Frog. Frog and Toad looked into a mirror. We look brave. Oh, we look brave, said Frog. Yes, but are we? Said Toad. There they are, looking in the mirror. Frog and Toad went outside. We can try to climb this mountain, said Frog. That should tell us if we are brave. Frog went leaping over rocks, and Toad came puffing up behind him. They came to a dark cave. A big snake came out of the cave. Oops. Hello, lunch, said the snake. When he saw Frog and Toad, he opened his mouth wide. But Frog and Toad jumped away. Toad was shaking. I am not afraid, he cried. There they are, going up the mountain. And there's the snake. They climbed higher, and they heard a loud noise. Many large stones were rolling down the mountain. It's an avalanche, cried Toad. Frog and Toad jumped away. Frog was trembling. I am not afraid, he shouted. Can you see the rocks coming down? Ooh, they came to the top of the mountain. The shadow of a hawk fell over them. Right? Frog and Toad jumped under a rock. The hawk flew away. We are not afraid, cried Frog and Toad at the same time. Then they ran down the mountain very fast. They ran past the place where they saw the avalanche. They ran past the place where they saw the snake. They ran all the way to Toad's house. Do you see the hawk? And there they are running away. Frog, I am glad to have a brave friend like you, said Toad. He jumped into bed and pulled the covers over his head. And I'm happy to know a brave person like you, Toad, said Frog. He jumped into the closet and shut the door. Toad stayed in the bed, and Frog stayed in the closet. They stayed there for a long time, just feeling very brave together. Frog and Toad. One last story. Are you ready? Are you up for a story? One more story. The Dream. Toad was asleep. He was having a dream. He was on a stage and he was wearing a costume. Toad looked out into the dark. Frog was sitting in the theater. A strange voice came from far away, said, Presenting the greatest Toad in all the world. There he is. There's Toad. You see Frog in the audience? Toad took a deep bow. You have to bow like that. Frog looked smaller as he shouted, Hooray for Toad! Toad will now play the piano very well, said the strange voice. There he is. Do you see him playing the piano? Toad played the piano, ding, 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 and he did not miss a note. Frog, cried Toad, can you play the piano like this? No, said Frog. It seemed to Toad that Frog looked even smaller. There's Frog. Toad will now walk on a high wire, and he will not fall down, said the voice. Here he is on the high wire. Da, 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 da. Toad walked on the high wire. Frog, cried Toad, can you do tricks like this? No, peeped Frog, who looked very, very small. Let me see if I can show you the pictures. Where are they? Where are they? There they are. See how Frog is getting smaller? Toad will now dance, and he will be wonderful, said the voice. Frog, can you be as wonderful as this? Said Toad, as he danced all over the stage. There was no answer. Toad looked into the theater. He's looking in the theater. Frog was so small that he could not be seen or heard. Frog, said Toad, where are you? There was still no answer. Frog, what have I done? Cried Toad. Then the voice said, the greatest Toad will now... Shut up, screamed Toad. Frog, Frog, where have you gone? Toad was spinning in the dark. Come back, Frog, he shouted. I will be lonely. You see him? There he is, spinning around the dark now. I think Toad and Frog were really, really good friends. I'm right here, said Frog. Frog was standing near Toad's bed. Wake up, Toad, he said. Frog, is that really you? Said Toad. Of course it is me, said Frog. And are you your own right size? Asked Toad. Yes, I think so, said Frog. Toad looked at the sunshine coming through the window. Frog, he said, I am so glad that you came over. I always do, said Frog. There's Toad coming out of bed. There's Frog. Yippee! Then Frog and Toad ate a big breakfast, and after that they spent a fine, long day together. And there they are, spending a nice, fine, long day together. You know, reading that last story reminds us how good friends are. It's nice to have friends. And it is sad if they were not to be there anymore. What a great set of stories. I've enjoyed it. That's it for this week. I'll come back to the bedtime stories Monday evening, so wait for me then. Have a good night.